Hello everybody, this is Ghost Hunter 385. I am back with more Kirby, more commentary, and another topic for everybody. As a quick side note here, live stream is still down. I'm still fighting with my ISP to get that resolved, so I do apologize. I'll get back to it as soon as I'm able. But in any case, let's get in today's topic, which is the myth of cultural appropriation. Ghost Hunter, cultural appropriation is not a myth. It's where people steal other people's culture. Okay, I'm going to spell this out for everybody. There is no such thing as cultural appropriation. Why is that? Because if that were true, then this world would not have any culture at all. Now, I could already sit here and hear some people saying, what do you mean by that? Well, here's an example from a very long time ago. Maybe, more than 1,000 or so years ago, basically. Or thereabouts, take your pick. But in any case, trader goes to a far-off land. Oh, I don't know, a trader from, Italy, ends up somewhere more in the Middle East area, kind of thing. Discovers a merchant selling what should I say here? I guess a bean. And this bean can be made into a really bitter drink, but when you drink it, it makes me more awake, but sure, later I'm more tired. But, when I'm hitting that mid-sun time where I'm just like, ugh, I can't do anything anymore, I drink this and woo! I'm kind of back up. I'm feeling more up to it. You feel me? Now, that's more of a general example. Let's do a bit more specific here. This is nothing more American than apple pie. Oh, wait a minute, but wasn't apple pie originally what amounted to a pastry casserole that people in England used to eat, and all they do is they peel off the crust, eat the warm, gooey, sweet apple filling, then throw the rest away? Then how is nothing more American than apple pie? Simple. Some baker in America, maybe it was a woman in her kitchen, who knows, maybe it was a man, who knows, we don't know. But they sat there and said, oh, this is my great-grandma's recipe for this. They make it and they eat it, and like, oh, this crust is terrible. So what do? They modify the recipe. They make a light, flaky crust that they cover in butter, and they do other things with it. And, oh my lord, this is delicious. We'll call this apple pie. And then from there, when ice cream comes along, you put that nice big giant scoop of ice cream on top, and what is that called? A la mode. The thing that I don't want to say people have forgotten, but more like they're not taught about anymore, I believe that's the proper way to say this, is that people are not taught anymore the origins of where things came from. Now, I can already sit here and hear some people say, well, according to what we know, certain dishes came from certain parts of the world. Like, oh, I don't know, Italy, we got spaghetti and other things. Yeah, a lot of pasta came out of Italy. Not all of it, but a lot of it. Or, no, it wasn't. What came out of the Middle East? I forget what it was off the top of my head, but oh, I don't remember. But here's another example for you. Who brought chocolate back? Anyone want to take a guess? It was the conquistadors when they came to what is now modern Latin America, where they sat there and the natives were cutting down the cocoa fruit, and they're like, oh, what's this? Oh, and they make it into this drink. And then eventually, when people found out what you could do with it, what did they make? They made chocolate. This is just an example here, folks. But the point is that cultural appropriation has never well, let's put this in the right, let's phrase this in the right way. Cultural appropriation has never really been considered a bad thing, because it wasn't so much that you were stealing something from another culture. It was you found this culture that had its own ideas, its own food. You know, food is a really big example here of things. But you would have food and other things, and you would have people who would come to these places, normally merchants, but sometimes quote-unquote adventurers in the time. But these people would be like, okay, they try the food, they try this, they try that, and they don't really like this, they don't really like this, they don't like that idea, but oh, this food is amazing, can we take this food and make it more appealing to people back home? And that's what some people did. Or in other cases, people migrated to different countries because of war, famine, take your pick of problems, and they move to a different country and they bring those ideas with them. And, you know, what do you get? You get people who bring the different kinds of alcohol, you get people who bring different food ideas, and, you know, it kind of just meshes together where you have people sharing things, sharing this, sharing that, and then you got the kids who make friends and they try this, they try that. You know, it's basically, in a nutshell, cultural appropriation was not a thing. It was the norm that when you would go out and share things with people, that they would adapt it to make it more palatable for them, and then that idea would stick, basically. And, you know, that's the reason why the idea, the idea and concept of cultural appropriation is such a, not misnomer, but when you really think about the world, it's really, really dirty, because it's like, hey, you're stealing this place's culture, but it's like, wait, we want to experience this culture, we want to enjoy this culture the same way they do. Is that so bad? And you're going to get some people who are like, well, if you're going to enjoy it and not steal it, fine, but you know, watch what you do. Or you're going to get people who are just like, no, stick to your own culture. It's what you deserve. And that's all you should get. And you kind of have to sit there and be like, what? Because the thing that I think so many people have forgotten even more is that sharing cultures is what brought people together. Now, I'm pretty sure no one's going to believe me on that, and that's their prerogative. But sharing of ideas, sharing of things, has been a constant thing for humans for a very, very long time. Whether they believe that or not. And, you know, to me, it's really dirty. And, you know, why do I say it's dirty? Because, well, I guess the best way to explain this is why I think this is really dirty is simply straightforward. Where did black culture come from? Now, I could sit here and some people saying, oh, don't you dare talk about black culture. Okay, well, let me explain this. Where did black culture come from? Let's see. These people were slaves in Africa, and whatever tribal culture they had was either taken from them or was stripped from them because they became slaves. Okay. And what did a lot of these people do? They were sold around the southern horn of Africa, put on ships, and then they went to far-off lands. And then, you know, what happened? They were sold to people who did this, that, and the other thing, and just put them to work. And eventually, these same people developed their own idea using the culture that was around them. And what was that culture? Southern culture. You don't believe me? Go watch that SNL video that's what was it? What is it called? It's like black. It's the black game show where it has all this, where it has all those stereotypes, and it's Tom Hanks dressed as an old Southern man wearing a Trump hat, basically. And what is the joke? That the poor Southern man has more in common with the black people of Chicago, New York, in, you know, that base regard of how they view things. Because that's how they get you. It's the same thing. It's just mind-boggling that people do not understand that cultural appropriation, or what's actually the better term here is the blending of culture, has been the norm for centuries, and now it's such a bad thing. Come on, think about that for a minute. That is so wrong when you really think about it. But in any case, like, subscribe, bang the bell, and I will see everybody in the next video.